Thank you for listening to All Things Tech.
And welcome back to All Things Tech. This is Conscious Chat. Tonight's program will be covering the big pharma companies and natural cures. Right now in the world, we've got powers that be that seem to promote profit over the overall well-being of people and just can't continue that way of living. In America, we've got alphabet agencies like DEA, FDA, FBI, CIA, it goes on and on and on. But they work in corporation with pharmaceutical and even other big business industries. They all work together just to ensure continued profitability for everyone supporting their cause. But even recently, the DEA announced that they're going to be making CBD oil illegal. And that's non-intoxicating, yet they're talking about making it a Schedule 1 substance, the same as the very worst drugs known to man. So CBD oil is used to treat illnesses that the medical industry even can't effectively treat, and it's proven to be 100% effective in some cases, eliminating thousands of seizures a day for some individuals. Completely non-harmful. The healing abilities are astounding, but the pharmaceutical companies do everything they can, and everything that they can do, they do in the name of profit. They're not concerned with healing people, and in fact, it's pretty much the opposite of their intentions. Because they can't profit off of healthy people, so they intentionally oppress and suppress cures, overcharge for unnecessary treatments, medications. They also intentionally sell harmful medication, causing serious illnesses that they treat through even more harmful practices. So this is what's most profitable for them, so it's no mistake. They're intentionally harming people in the name of profit. And this is just one industry backed by almost all the major governmental entities, but in the name of profit, people are used as pawns. Through awareness, I think we can make better decisions, avoiding, harmful foods, medications, environments. But we'd have to work together to provide healthier options when it comes to all areas of our lives. Even transportation could be made much more eco-friendly overnight. And we could eliminate, fuel costs. That's also something that's suppressed. Our foods can be grown in a way that's not harmful, and we don't need foods that have obvious negative effects on the body. This is also suppressed. Our medicines can be much more natural. Many illnesses, Virus is going to talk about that today. They can be healed with no medication, as the body can heal itself in pretty amazing ways. So all that information gets suppressed. We're just misinformed about technological advances, and it just, I guess, wouldn't be profitable for people to have devices with, too high of capabilities, or even just simple cures that are just natural cures that you could find anywhere. All suppressed. It's unbelievable what people have lost just in order for a few to gain profits. So I am looking forward to a new world. For those of you who are interested in hearing more shows pertaining to the paranormal and conspiracies, join us on our website at www.consciouschat.com. You can also find us on SoundCloud and YouTube by simply searching for Conscious Chat. But I've got Virus, Pseudo, and Hex standing by over in the UK, Australia, and the good old US of A. So go ahead and take it away, guys.
Virus, are you still awake?
Oh yeah, I'm still awake.
All right, man. Yeah, I was just wondering. It must be pretty early in the morning for you right now.
Yeah, it's about 6:23 a.m. here.
What have you done an all-nighter?
Yeah, pretty much. My brain wouldn't allow me to go to sleep, so I have that problem a lot. Where I can't really go to sleep because I want to address some things, what's going on. I get intellectually stimulated and I can't fall asleep.
Sleep all day. It's the only way. Yeah, I've never had that problem, to be honest. I've had phases where I've had trouble sleeping, but in general, I usually get a good sleep. I have over the last few months anyway.
Yeah, I was basically discussing the what should be done to combat the drug addiction in the United States that's running rampant over here.
Did you come to a conclusion?
I think I basically did, as a matter of fact.
Does this mean you're going to send a letter to Trump?
I don't think he would read it anyway, to be honest. I'm just saying I think that there should be some things done to address it on a small scale that could help people. Because I don't think these people are bad people that are addicted to drugs. I really think that they're at an unfortunate situation happen in their life, or maybe, like we talked about, maybe a hard hit to the brain as far as trauma or something like that occurred in their life that put them in that situation in which they're in, so to speak. And, if you address that on an individual level, I feel that you could basically rehabilitate those individuals.
I was just being facetious, but so I guess this idea that you came up with then involves the addicts being exposed to some kind of information or something like that.
Well, I feel that the only way to really rehabilitate those individuals like that is to show them individually, on an individual scale, what they are doing to their body, and show them someone who does something natural and how they're able to be in better health than what that person would be in, and say, would you rather be killing yourself, or would you rather be in a position where you could live another 30 years or 40 years? But the true element to that is to ask the question, why are they feeling the need to do that? What has happened in their life that was so bad that they felt it was the utmost necessity to resort to that type of behavior, so to speak? And if someone can do that, then they can understand the person on an individual scale, and then they can understand the psychology that would be necessary in order to rehabilitate that certain situation to, a full circle.
Yeah, I guess you're going to have to get them to care about their body to start with, because I'm convinced a lot of people don't really care. And some people who take drugs are probably looking for a way out anyway, albeit one that doesn't involve too much courage, because I think a lot of people would just opt out if they could. People in those kinds of predicaments. And I think that the ones who really want a cure to the addiction, if they really want it, I'm sure they're going to find it, aren't they? If they really want it.
Yeah, I really feel that the people sometimes, and really what it boils down to here, and this is where I got on this topic of conversation, is the pharmaceutical industry here in the United States has people massively addicted to painkillers, and prescription drugs is the leading cause of death here in the United States. Well, not the leading, but the third leading cause of death here in the United States. It's on the books as the third leading cause of most death here, aside from other things. But it is a big concern, and I think that there should be something passed to fight them legally, to fight the pharmaceutical industry. If you can economically cripple the pharmaceutical industry here in the United States, then you would not have the push for these people being so addicted, walking around like zombies, and things like that. And the rest of the world would follow at that point. I feel it would be something that could revolutionize human health at that point, because people are so brainwashed into listening to what their doctor has to say, or my doctor told me this, I have to follow these instructions and everything like that. And it's so pre-programmed from early childhood on to adolescence, like we were speaking about in our previous conversation. They take them to the doctor at a very young age. They get them, this and this and this is wrong with you. All of these things are wrong with you. And that they stick that in their mind. That's the first thing they tell these little kids is, something is wrong with you. Maybe nothing is wrong with them. It's just that their body is different than another person's body, because the human body, of course, develops differently, depending on the person, especially the influx of chemical balances and imbalances as well. The chemical imbalances are caused by outside influence, i.e. the pharmaceutical industry here in the U.S.
Hello, Pseudo. How are you? Interesting. I was listening in on your conversation, and you were saying how the pharmacy, pretty much the pharmaceutical companies are evil. Is that what you said? It was evil?
Hi Hex, how's it going? I don't know if you've met Varus. This is Varus of Virus Network. Varus, this is Hex. Also got another new user, Aaron, who's probably just listening in at the moment. I'm just doing a little bit of paperwork, so I'll let you two just pick up there from where you left off.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Hex. No, basically, I'm not saying that they're necessarily evil. I'm just basically saying that they are the downfall of what's going on. You see a lot of people on the side of the road with needles in their arms, and you see a lot of people that are, having to, get refills on their pain prescription.
Sorry, man. You're right, but you're on the right track with saying every pharmacy store. I believe every pharmacy store in the world is a bunch of evil government-controlled sector. In saying that, if you understand the meaning of medicine, it's not what it means.
Well, medicine was meant for something natural. Hippocrates, which was the natural father of natural medicine in ancient Greece, did not perceive for Western medicine to perversify the aspect of healing in such a way of what it is.
That's true. And what's another way of the government hiding their evil ways in a logo in every pharmaceutical company in the world? It's in plain sight, but in a hidden message. So if you go back and look at a pharmaceutical logo, it always has that snake or a cup and a sword with a wing, or it has a snake curling up on a sword. And what the hell does that have to do with anything? It has nothing to do with anything. There's a massive conspiracy on that theory, but it's not a theory. Yeah, it's a fact that it's government controlled, trying to slowly kill out the human race and only keep their genetics clean. In somewhat trying to explain it's more harder than saying it. I'll have to come back to you on that one. But yes, as I was saying with the logos, if you take a look at the logos, it's with a snake and a cup, or a snake and a sword. It has nothing to do with anything. Doesn't make sense. I understand the cup being there to be medicine, but that's what's in the cup.
Well, the snake itself is, I think I know what you're talking about as far as the symbol. That, if I'm understanding you correctly, as far as the symbol you're speaking about, it's a Hippocratic symbol. It goes back to the ancient Greece era, but what they're using it for right now, a lot of the drug companies and especially pharmaceutical, pharmacies like you're talking about, they're using it to perversify the aspect of healing. And when in effect of that, people are being prone to, they're treating the symptoms and not the cure of a disease. And it's like Hippocrates himself. He said, if you want to treat a certain disease, not ask what type of disease a person has, yet ask what type of person has a disease. And maybe they're genetically predisposed to a certain type of disease. Maybe they have a genetic predisposition to get a certain disease because of the helix of their DNA, the strands of their DNA. We don't know that, but we need to look further into it to understand why. And how can we address those problems with natural herbs? Because everything that you have from the earth can heal you. There's so much out there that can heal you naturally without you consulting one of these doctors to tell you to be, a consumer for the industry of the pharmaceutical organization. It's everything that you need is there. It's like Cicero said. He said the best thing a man can have is a library and a garden. That's all he needs.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, like, it's not only the pharmaceutical companies that have hidden messages in their logos. Pretty much every single thing there, like our foods now, our water supply, it's pretty much killing our everyone, slowly killing off people, but there's nothing we can do about it. It's all controlled to a point where when people say freedom and freedom of speech, and how much freedom do they really have with food items, products? How much freedom do they have? Because if you look into what the water supply has, it has shit that they have in atomic bombs. But not a lot of people look at it that way. They will just say, "Oh, no, it's not that. It's probably been, sterilized," and which it is. The water is sterilized, but to a point. But what sterilizes the water? And that's what they use in atomic bombs. Maybe look into it and you'll find the answer to it. And a lot of people will just say, "Oh, no, it's nothing." But then toothpaste has the same ingredients as they have in the water.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I use charcoal activated toothpaste. I don't use any fluoride toothpaste at all. I use coconut oil. I brush my teeth with either coconut oil or charcoal activated toothpaste. It doesn't contain the active ingredient of fluoride. But a lot of people, they see these commercials, they see people's teeth being so white on the commercial, and they buy the product. It's the same thing with the market advertising. They have an old lady pushing a child on a swing, and then below it, in small print, they have all the side effects, which are usually more dangerous than what the drug is intended to treat, as far as the symptoms or whatever, And it's what's going on, and people are just completely blinded. It's like a aspect of natural selection taking its toll. But I think people will wisen up. With the internet and technology, and YouTube and everything like that, people have access to all these methods to find this information out. It's just, will they or will they not, is the question, really.
Yeah, that's true. Trying to explain this to trying to explain it to people with not a lot of open mind, and they'll just, waver it and say, "You know what, you're crazy. You maybe need to see a doctor."
Well, what the doctors do is they dismiss natural cures 100% because it affects their revenue generation. They don't want people healing themselves with herbs, because if people are healing themselves with herbs and they tell their friends about the fact that they can heal themselves with herbs, then everyone is healing themselves with herbs. And they don't have a clientele to sell their bullshit to at that point, And that's the facts. They would collapse at that point. It would be a domino effect. And they don't want that. That's why I think educating people on natural cures is mandatory, and it's very good for the general populace to understand what these things can do for their body, or what adverse effects that their pharmaceutical drugs have on the body. I think it starts with that first. It starts with, the enlightenment of a population. And, if people are aware of these things, would you rather take the path of least resistance, or would you rather do it. Just go through with it, you know? But there's even forums out there on Facebook and all these other social media things where people are expressing the fact that they were able to heal themselves from cancer and all these other drugs, and they're posting proof of their diagnosis up on the glass on all these sites, and they show the healing process step by step and what they did to use the natural drugs. And these people have cured themselves when they had stage 4 lung cancer, all these different things, whereas if they followed the doctor's orders, they would be dead because the chemotherapy, drugs, and the radiation would have already killed them, and that's really the point I'm trying to make, is a lot of these people just don't really consider, and there's even something, sounds like you're in Australia, but there's also something in Australia that is a natural herb that has been used to cure cancer as well. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, true. With that whole coconut, drinking coconut water and that, it was good for your system and your body and that. Myself, I never believed in that, but my grandfather kept telling me, it is good for your body and how much it will help you with your health. I didn't believe in it until my old lady told me the same thing. Anyway, I kept, how they, most of the time I was just a jerk as a kid. Never wanted to listen. I always thought, they're just getting old and whatnot. But if they knew that, coconut was good for your health and that. And mind you, they're Polynesians, so they're from the islands. If they knew that about that cure ages ago, and the scientists are just picking up on it now, well, what does that say?
Oh, absolutely. And, it's just, people are refusing to understand what, these ancient cultures have used for thousands and thousands of years to heal themselves. Like in ancient Egypt, in Greece, in China. They've got herbs all over the world that have been used for thousands of years. Like black seed oil has been used to, as an anti-inflammatory herb. When it's in the liquid form, crushed up, the black cumin seed oil is really powerful for anti-inflammatory properties. Also, pineapple has bromelain in it, which is a natural anti-inflammatory. Pineapple juice, fresh pineapple juice, is used to treat sore throats and things like that too.
Yeah, true. That's very true. I went to when I went to Tonga about 4 years ago, I think 3 years ago. It's a small island right out in the Pacific. This is where both my parents and my grandfather was from. Anyway, there was heaps of different foods I tried there, and good foods, by the way. And there was heaps of natural cures as well that never heard of. Didn't want to try it because I was a bit skeptic on it. But then only those medicines that they were using there, they were all from plants, natural plants, and that, and they'll make it themselves. But then I come back here 3-4 years later, I hear there's a product of that these plants that were being used over there. I'm thinking, man, fuck, I wonder where I heard that from. But yeah, man, that's so true.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that people don't really look into unless they need to. I myself, I'm real big into the natural stuff. I've got an herbal encyclopedia and all that, and I kind of have reference points that I use. Like if I ever have anything that happens, I can use something or use a combination of different herbs mixed together. It increases the potency of the results that you get, and that's where a lot of people are skeptical. They use one herb and it doesn't work for them, and then or it doesn't work fast enough to cure whatever it is, and then they get skeptical at that point. But if they try all the herb combinations together in increases the amount of effectiveness of what you're able to produce at that point. You know, if you use a combination of anti-inflammatory herbs, you're going to see faster results as you would if you just used one herb, you know, to essentially treat something.
Yeah, true. That's very true. Well, yeah, interesting enough. When I was there, when I was overseas, it was weird, man, because there was a lot of. I was saying this to Sudo as well the other day. I was mentioning this, and this was the lost island of Mu, and in Tonga, when you're in that little island, you actually go past a sign that says "Welcome to Miwa," the old city of the old city and capital of Tonga. And it was weird, man. It was because when I went there, I could honestly say that you could see the pyramid, a little bit of a pyramid that was growing out, but it was more going to. It was all buried in that, but you can see the top of it. You're really pretty much walking on top of it, but then you can see other stuff that's buried underground. Now, if you're going to dig up the area, you're probably going to take a good 10 years trying to dig up the whole island. But weird but true. I have photos of it, and I'm trying to get it off my computer now so I can post it up.
Looks like that's actually all the time we have today, guys. We have to do a short podcast. We're coming up on 25, 30 minutes here. So, but thank you everyone for listening to Conscious Chat on all things tech. We will try to continue this podcast, maybe tomorrow. If you're interested in hearing more shows pertaining to the paranormal and conspiracies, join us on our website at www.consciouschat.com. You can also find us on SoundCloud and YouTube by simply searching for Conscious Chat. Again, thank you for listening to All Things Tech.